Imagine a man sitting across from you. He hasn't said a word in 3 minutes. Everyone else at the table is visibly nervous. They fill the void with noise, pleasantries, forced laughter, small apologies for things that don't require an apology. They are auditioning for his approval, and they don't even know it. But he just watches. They think his silence means he has nothing to say. They think he is outmatched, or perhaps he doesn't understand the gravity of the moment. They are wrong. His silence means he has already decided. While they are busy projecting their insecurities into the room, he is collecting data. In a world that never stops talking, silence is not a void. It is a weapon. Most people are terrified of the quiet because they are terrified of what they might hear when the noise stops. But the powerful, they own the quiet. They treat it like a fortress. Today, we are going to discuss why the most dangerous thing you can do is let people underestimate you because you chose to say nothing. This is not about weakness. This is about the terrifying authority of a mind that is finished explaining itself. The Stoics called it the inner citadel. It is a fortress inside the mind where no one can enter unless you grant them access. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, understood that silence is the ultimate form of sovereignty. He knew that the moment you feel the need to fill the air with noise, you have surrendered. You have signaled that you are uncomfortable. You have signaled that you are seeking validation from the outside world. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai, took this further. He taught that in battle, your spirit must be still even when your body is in motion. In his famous duel against Sasaki Kojiro, Musashi didn't win with his sword alone. He won with silence and delay. He allowed his opponent to wait, to wonder, and to let his own mind fill with doubt. By the time Musashi arrived in absolute silence, the duel was already over. Musashi wasn't just a master of the sword, he was a master of psychology. He understood that whoever speaks is trying to control the moment, but whoever is silent is already controlling the adversary. This is the principle of zanshin, a state of relaxed alertness. It is the tactical advantage of the observer. Ancient codes of honor, from the samurai to the Roman legions and many others across history, all shared this truth. The man who can control his tongue can control the room. When you stop explaining your intentions, you become a mystery. And a mystery is much harder to defeat than a man who lays all his cards on the table. Modern culture treats silence like a system error. We live in a digital panopticon where transparency is demanded and justification is the norm. If there is a gap in a conversation, we feel a physical pressure to fill it. If we make a decision, we feel we must publish a roadmap of our reasoning. We have become obsessed with being understood, forgetting that being understood by everyone usually means you have simplified yourself to the point of insignificance. But the exhaustion of the visible man, as Seneca and other great thinkers would describe it, is a form of slow-motion suicide for the soul. When you try to make your inner world legible to everyone, you invite the world to vote on your choices. You trade your depth for a shallow, temporary acceptance. The obsession with total transparency is, in reality, a form of submission. You are inviting everyone to have an opinion on your construction. There is a psychological cost to this constant justification. Every time you explain yourself when no explanation was earned, you signal to your own nervous system that your judgment alone is not enough. You begin to believe that you require permission to exist. This creates a cycle of approval seeking that erodes your authority and leaves you vulnerable to manipulation. Viktor Frankl, who survived the darkest corners of human history, found that in the space between stimulus and response, there is a gap. In that gap lies our freedom. When you choose silence, you are claiming that gap. You are refusing to be a puppet of your impulses or other people's expectations. Robert Greene, in his studies of power, noted that the person who speaks less is always perceived as more powerful. Silence creates a vacuum. Human nature hates a vacuum, so others will rush to fill it with their own words, their own secrets, and their own weaknesses. To master this, you must practice the economy of words. Understand that no is a complete sentence. Your decisions do not require a 3-paragraph essay to be valid. Practice the 4-second rule. When you feel the urge to justify yourself, pause for 4 seconds. Let the discomfort rise. Let the other person carry the weight of the silence. It is in that silence that the power dynamic shifts in your favor. This is the custo of justification. Every time you offer an unasked explanation, you are telling your brain that your original decision was fragile. Let them mistake your silence for weakness. Let them underestimate your resolve. While they are busy talking, you are observing. While they are seeking approval, you are building a fortress they cannot even see yet. Silence is the ultimate high ground. It is the mark of a man who has finished auditioning for the world. Marcus Aurelius never intended for his meditations to be read by you. He wrote them in private, in the quiet of his own mind, for no one but himself. He didn't explain his philosophy to the masses. He lived it. 2,000 years later, the loudest voices of his era are forgotten, but his silence still echoes across history. Silence has a very long echo. If this moved you, sit with it. Don't rush to comment. Don't rush to share. Just sit with the quiet for a moment. That pause will tell you everything you need to know about your own power.